Hey everyone, welcome to Bite-Sized Pixels, where we take a bite out of a game, but not more than we can chew. I'm Farhan, she's Emma, and today the game that we're going to be discussing is.
Apex Legends! Woo!
Hey! Alright, so give us a short introduction on what Apex Legends is.
Alright, so Apex Legends is a battle royale developed by Respawn Entertainment, who's also made the Titanfall series. And, it's one of the main big players of battle royales aside from something like PUBG and Fortnite.
Right, yes.
Hmm.
Personally, Fortnite and PUBG never really appealed to me, but I don't know why. Something about Apex Legends was actually really fun. Actually, when I tried PUBG, I was like, oh, I think Battle Royale games aren't for me. And then I tried Fortnite for a bit too, and that was also, I don't know, just felt like with all the building stuff a bit too complicated. But then I played Apex and was like, wow, this is actually a good game. I can actually play this.
Building stuff being complicated. Well, I guess Minecraft isn't for you then.
Wow, you're right. I hate Minecraft. That's one game we are never going to talk about on this podcast.
Wow, so sad. I can't believe you just alienated all of our Minecraft fans.
Oh, I'm so sorry, 10-year-olds. My bad.
I don't want to play Minecraft too. So mean.
I know. I'm just kidding. But
Right. But yeah, I personally, I've played quite a bit of PUBG before with my friends, and I like the realism, but it's also a bit too slow paced and it's a bit too easy to die in that game.
right. Yeah, that makes
Mm.
sense.
And
Um,
honestly, I'll
yeah.
play
When I played it,
Fortnite.
it
Oh,
was
sorry?
no. So you go ahead.
Right, so when I played Fortnite, I actually really liked how it played. Like, it felt very casual and it felt like it's something I could, like, pick up and just, like, shoot mindlessly if I was, like, tired or, like, I
Right.
came back from work and stuff. But the problem is that the whole building and destructible walls and stuff, like, I really dislike that. But that's not to
Yeah.
say it's a bad thing, that's its own niche, right? So
Yeah.
it's just not the right game for me. But I do think Apex is really interesting, especially with their three-man team only sort of gameplay they got going on.
Right. And I think that's a good thing. Like the whole trios thing, and it's got like it's a hard focus on just purely like going around shooting people without all the freaking building distractions and whatnot. I think that sort of takes away from the actual gameplay. But I mean, clearly Epic Games did something right. It's the most popular like one of the most popular games in the world, so I guess it's just not for us. But Apex, I think, is the game that's actually for us. So speaking of the game, let's talk about some of the gameplay.
Right. So like we mentioned, there's the whole three-man team kind of thing.
Mhm.
And it's generally pretty fast-paced and I feel like it has a pretty snappy aim. Actually, the game is developed on the Source engine, which I was really surprised to hear about. Like, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I didn't never thought Source Engine could develop such an actually like not dated game. If you guys don't know, Source Engine is the CS:GO engine, which is
Right.
nuts. That game is like beyond dated.
I mean, it's also
So
the engine they use for Half-Life 2, which came out in like, what, 2004?
wow, that only just makes everything worse.
But yeah, it's pretty fast-paced, wouldn't you say?
Definitely, yeah. It's faster paced than like you said than PUBG, and I really like that part because I really don't like scrounging for materials for like freaking 20-30 minutes, and then like you get into like one gunfight in that whole like 20-30 minute game, and then you just feel like bored and like burnt out at that point. Just saying, okay, I guess one game was enough for me. That was boring as hell. That doesn't really happen as much with Apex.
Right. Yeah. I think me and my friends have slowly, we've fallen off PUBG in the past like 2 years just because it's a bit slow and yeah, it's like you said, sometimes it gets a bit boring. It's a bit unfortunate that that's like how so-called, realistic, like I guess battle royales play out.
Yeah, it's just I guess the realism does sort of like take away from it. But I mean, a lot of people seem to still like it, so I guess a lot of people like that realism aspect.
Yeah, yeah. To each their own.
Yeah, of course. So right, so now we can talk about the maps. So the maps are, I don't know. I think it's a slight point of contention for me because I don't like how there have only been three maps in like this since the game's inception. There's only been three maps, and I think it could have afforded to make like at least one, two more maps.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Mhm.
Yeah, I particularly dislike World's Edge. Like,
Oh yeah.
I I don't know. I just the aesthetic like. I hate. I guess I really dislike post-apocalyptic like sort of like setting. It's all doom and gloom,
I
and
see.
I don't. I I'm struggling to remember here, but I remember there were certain parts of the map that weren't very nice to play on, especially closer to the end game. Like sometimes it's a bit too open, or like maybe there's a bit too many buildings,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. I
it
remember that.
generates so difficult to like sort of like it's just hard during like the end game where like everyone's just like fighting and like sometimes it's a
Oh
mess,
yeah.
sometimes it's just like hiding in buildings till like the final ring.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think another thing is that World's Edge like really sort of overstayed its welcome.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it
yeah,
was there for like I don't even how many seasons was it there for? It was there for way too long, way longer than King's Canyon
yeah.
was.
I think
And
I think between season 3 and 6,
right, and season 7 was Olympus,
Olympus, yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, that's way too long for just one map. And they only made like minimal editions. I remember they had the that little vault system thing where you
Yes.
go on the ship and get the vault key. That was fun. I thought that was very
Yeah.
fun. But like I think that still doesn't change the fact that it's the same map. So
Right.
yeah.
Speaking of something like the vault, do you think that Apex's sort of unique take on each map is good? Like, each map has this like sort of gimmick and whatnot. Like World's Edge has that vault system, King's Canyon, initially started off the loot ticks and whatnot. And
Correct.
Olympus has that, has like a particular building with like gold weapons in it. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they also have vehicles, but that's
They
not
have
exactly
vehicles.
loot.
I like that actually. I like that every map was sort of like unique in its own way.
Hmm.
That it had its own sort of gimmick, like which I think is a good thing. Like overall, like I
Right.
like more I like more experimentation in general, be it like with guns or with maps or anything. Like in general, I just like some form of experimentation because I like new things and I want new experiences. So I think that's a good thing that
Right.
they come up with a new gimmick for each map.
Hmm. Yeah, so speaking of gimmicks, so this season's gimmick is in King's Canyon because it makes a return. So the new
Right.
gimmick is explosive holds, which are scattered all around, like, I guess, big landmarks like towns and whatnot. Usually there's like about one or two nearby each town.
Hmm.
And generally speaking, inside there's usually level 3 attachments, as well
Right.
as like potentially up to like level 4 slash golden loot inside, like mostly attachments really. And
Uh,
I really, I really like that. Like, it's, for example, like, I like using, like, Havoc and Devotion with Turbocharger, and the Explosive
mhm.
Hold is, like, just a more consistent way to get the Turbocharger just so I can use those weapons. Because, without the Turbocharger, those weapons aren't great,
And it suck,
honestly.
yeah.
Kind of stink.
Takes way
Yeah.
too long to charge up. Like the devotion, like God, I think takes
Mm.
eons to charge up. But yeah,
Right. And it feels like a great gimmick because if it's a great gimmick then is it really a gimmick, right? But it's not
yeah,
like World's Edge where like you have to get this particular vault key, like that's a bit of RNG with all the little like loot drones flying around. And
yeah.
there's only 3 vaults in the entire map. And Olympus has only like that one particular building with the gold weapon and whatnot. Whereas this
Which
one
is
is
good.
it's scattered all over the map, and all you need to do is get one grenade to access the vault. Whoops.
Which is
Yeah.
nice. Which is nice. That's a good thing.
Yeah, so I really like it, and this Kings Canyon map, like, I they probably did some minimal tweaks to it, but I feel like in general Kings Canyon is probably my favorite map so far. It feels very balanced. There's a fine balance between density of buildings as well as like foliage, and even if you're so caught out in the open, like in like a forest or grassy fields, I feel like there's just enough cover to like not make it an unfair fight or make it super like awful to play in,
Right. That makes sense. Makes sense. I
Yeah.
like I like Olympus, but I think that's mostly aesthetic for me. I like the sort of futuristic aesthetic for the maps
I
and like the
absolutely agree.
buildings and the cars, the hover cars. It's all really cool. I like that aesthetic.
Yeah, it's
Gameplay wise, I don't know. I feel like gameplay wise, the maps don't differ that much for me. But maybe that's just because I'm not very. not an insanely dedicated Apex player, but
Yeah.
yeah, I sort of rate the maps on aesthetic at this point.
Right.
But I do like the Olympus, like
Hmm.
I do like the gimmicks on
Right.
Olympus, which is quite cool.
I really love the aesthetic of Olympus. You know, when I first saw the map, I fell in love with it. It's like the exact
Mhm.
opposite of World's Edge.
That's true. It is literally the exact opposite of World's Edge.
Yeah, I think Olympus in general feels alright. There are some areas which could be considered too open and like not enough
Right.
cover, but that's sort of like that's just the way different maps are. They have their own like
Yeah, of
settings and
course. Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah,
Like with some
so
maps, you gotta have like some open spaces, some tight corridors.
right, so yeah, I think maps are one of the strong suits just because like something like PUBG just has like different environments and that's really about it. There's no particular gimmicks or like not substantial gimmicks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a bad thing. Like I mean, not no maybe not a bad thing, but like it's just some form of gimmick experimentation kind of thing would be cool. And if the community doesn't like it, just remove it. Just be
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, sorry, we screwed up, so we're gonna remove this gimmick that's very annoying or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Alright, so moving on. We've got the new character, Fuse. He's an Aussie man.
Speaking of tight corridors, huh? Throwing one of those.
So what's your impression of Fuse?
Few seems pretty good. I don't think he. Uh, okay, well, I was gonna say I don't think he's very flashy, but he is very fleshy. So that's probably the wrong adjective to use on Fuse. But I mean, it's more like he seems like a pretty balanced agent. So that's nice.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not like he's not like as crazy OP as he sounded. I guess is probably the best way to put it. Like I was like, what the heck? He has a grenade launcher. He can hold so many grenades. He can just like what? I was like, okay. So, but then when I actually see him in play, he's not that bad. He's fine.
Yeah,
He's
they
alright.
they basically brought back the old inventory for him.
Yeah, they just say you can hold two grenades in one slot. Like wow.
Ooh. Yeah, so I as you know, I play a lot of Apex. I'm like
Oh
level
yeah.
300 something. Yeah,
Man,
so I
diamond.
yeah, speaking of which, I finally hit diamond this season. I've only hit like plat 3 like previously, and like this season I dedicated myself to like getting diamond, and oh my god, within the last week I got it. Like,
Nice.
I'm so happy about that. I'm so proud.
So I'm so proud of you. I reached bronze 2, so that was pretty cool.
I'm so proud of you. It's not the lowest rank.
I think my highest rank ever was what, plat 4, plat 3, somewhere
Yeah,
there. Then I
somewhere around
sort of
there.
dropped the game after that.
Yeah,
But also I was kind of stuck there anyway. So
yeah.
I
Plat is where like it gets pretty hard from there.
yeah, that's the thing. And like the 36 wager charge is high as hell.
Yeah, really got to like get some kills and like last to the end.
Yeah, rough.
But right, back to the character. I've played Fuse and yeah, I definitely agree that I think he's in a pretty fair and balanced position.
Yep.
I you know I don't particularly hate or like him. I just don't think he's to my playstyle. I usually play something like Lifeline or Octane. I really love
Yep.
like Lifeline skill of like rezzing and whatnot.
Mm,
And Fuse's ability is definitely it's a weird mix of like support plus aggro. Like you can use it to sort of initiate a fight or like sort of like chuck a couple of grenades like long range before you run in or like just harass people long range I suppose.
right. Yeah, that's true. It's true. He has I'd say a well-rounded kid, I guess.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I guess he just doesn't fit my playstyle because he's sort of in the middle. He's neither really here nor there. He doesn't fit like a particular niche. He's well rounded, like you said.
Yeah, he's just well-rounded, which is cool. Not really my playstyle either. Like I like the more I don't know, either like a recon aggro like Bloodhound or
Right,
just a pure aggro like Revenant. Those are, I think
right.
those are my two favorites. So they're both like really fun for me. So I don't. I guess in a way, if I play like a very aggressive like chucking nades here and there fuse, then I guess that would be fun. But
Right.
I think in general, I guess not really my thing. I like the whole silencing thing from Revenant, and uh, I like Bloodhound's ult and his scan a lot. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I would be maining Fuse anytime soon.
Yeah, those characters definitely provide much more like the support given is a lot more obvious and direct.
Yes, of
Mm.
course. That's true.
So, speaking of characters, what do you think of like Apex Legends character design and lore?
I think it's really good actually. Like for just like a multiplayer game, you don't really expect like like wow amazing characters and amazing lore, but they actually do a good job on the character design front. Like their voices are natural sounding for
Yeah.
one thing, not like a certain other game that we talked about. Uh, and it's I like the way that they're designed. They're not designed in a very samey way. Like they are all very distinctly designed, which is
Yes.
very nice. Which is important because like you need to identify them when you're playing, right? So I think that's a really good thing. The fact that they're very visually distinct.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, their design is so good, and yeah, thinking about it, it's exactly like what you said. Like if I'm sniping, and even though I can see like a tiny bit of them, like from really far away, like they're generally really distinct in what they do, and how they're designed to the point where I can just recognize them straight away and like call up to my teammates and
Yep,
whatnot.
exactly. Yeah, and
Hmm.
and that's really good. And I think that's obviously what the devs keep in mind. Like in a
Hmm.
battle royale game, obviously you'll be seeing people from like kilometers away. So you're definitely going to need some. You're definitely going to need like some sort of visual distinction for like all the
Hmm.
characters.
Yeah, I think this game is actually thinking about it. Like it's pretty rare that a battle royale has pretty fleshed out and like has a lot of lore written about all their characters and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you compare it to like PUBG, what lore is PUBG? Oh, you drop two field, die. Like there's no lore. Like
Oof, I can taste the bitterness.
it's not bitterness. I'm just saying like, that's how it is. And then Fortnite. Okay, Fortnite. Honestly, I can't say. Never really played Fortnite that much. So if there is lore, I am unaware.
The lore is mostly the maps, I think. Yeah, the characters. There's no lore for your characters.
Okay, yeah, right. Cool.
But yeah.
At least better than PUBG. So
So, they also have animated shots actually, on their YouTube and whatnot. And
yes,
yeah, they
it's so high
even
quality. Yeah.
right. It's so good. It's really fun to watch. It's so nice. I really enjoy it. It's something like Overwatch.
Yeah, yeah, it's like Overwatch's. Every time they release a new character, there's like a new animated short. So good. Every time it's like top tier stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching the. I enjoy watching both Overwatch and this one.
Mm. Yeah, you can really tell they put a lot of like heart and effort into like all the characters' lore and design, and each characters and their own story really stands out on their own.
Yep,
Hmm.
definitely. I
So
they
hmm?
I think it's just like I think it's just the how do I say this? It's like the way that they design the characters, like
Right.
from the ground up. It seems like they don't just kind of like put in a character just because like oh okay we gotta check off like maybe like okay so we have this character of this ethnicity and then we just put them in like something like that. They
Yeah.
actually like design the lore around them and they make it so that it's like it doesn't feel very like just like anyhow. They just kind of like put them in for no reason.
Yeah.
They make it so that it's very it's inclusive in a way.
Right.
Everybody has their own story, everybody has their own background, everybody has a reason why they're here in
Mm.
this battle royale doing what they do, killing 57 other people.
Right. And like what you say, like each character has their own ethnicity and whatnot. Like I think they do a very good job of like having diversity in their cast. Like somebody like
Definitely. Yes, yes.
Rampart, Octane. You know,
Yeah, and the accents are accurate.
yes.
It's not like bad accents. They're actually pretty solid.
And not just that, they're not like stereotypes of like, like their own ethnicity, like, how people can
Oh,
easily
yes.
like stereotype like Indian people and whatnot. But Rampart is
Mhm.
her own character, she's more than like just like stereotypes of Indian people and whatnot. She's very interesting.
Thankfully, yeah. She's definitely she's an interesting character, and like her
Yeah.
voice lines are all very interesting. And like she was what was her backstory? She was British born or
Yeah,
something, right? Or
yeah.
like British educated or something like that.
Right,
She's
yeah.
very cool. She uses stuff like she uses words like mate and stuff, even though she's Indian. I think it's just a very cool, like a cool aspect of her character.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And there's also stuff like, Gibraltar being gay.
Oh
And
yeah, that's
yeah.
great. Yep.
Yeah, and
Inclusivity in all forms, very nice.
hell yeah, and Bloodhound being non-binary. It's very cool.
Yeah, I think that's
Hmm.
very cool. Like, and like, I mean, the people who are like, well, this is just shoehorned in stuff. It's like, representation is good. No matter in what form. It's it's just good. It's always good to have some form of representation
Hmm.
in any sort of media. So I think this is like a good thing that game companies in general are sort of like adopting.
Yes, absolutely. As long as they're not stereotypes or negative,
Yeah,
like
yes, of course, yeah.
negative
As long as they're
thing.
not just stereotypes or like negative stereotypes, or even
Yeah,
positive ones can be like kind of harmful.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad like they do what they do. So which one of the characters is your favorite? Lore wise or gameplay wise?
Well, gameplay wise, I would have to say Bloodhound. Bloodhound is superb. They've been my favorite character for like since the beginning, even, and like they're just so good. I just really love Bloodhound's abilities and everything. Lore wise, that's an interesting question because I'm not very sort of well read, I would say, on the lore. In fact,
Right.
the only lore that I really know is Bloodhound's lore, just because like I like Bloodhound, so I just read up on their lore, right? But
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, so I guess lore wise, I can't really say. I guess
Mm.
my tentative answer would be Bloodhound because
Right.
I've only read up on their lore.
Oh,
So
you should definitely check their animated short out. It's one of their longer ones. It's like 10 minutes, I think.
yeah, actually, I watched it, but I sort of can't really remember what happens in it. Like it's been a hot minute.
Rewatch
I
it.
just remember. Yeah, I definitely got to go rewatch that. I think that was one of their best ones. I think.
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
Okay, so what about you? Favorite character, lore wise, gameplay wise, whatever wise.
mm. I might be a bit biased because I came back in about season 4 to 5, but I do think the
Mhm.
Revenant Loba storyline is quite interesting. I,
Oh yeah, I really like that storyline.
I remember at the end of the Revenant trailer, like you saw Loba like over her father's
Yes,
dead body, and you just knew she was coming as the next character, dude.
it was so cool. Oh, I love that.
And her
I love the like backstory and like when they're
yes,
on the same team, their lines just suggest so much that they hate each other. It's the best. I
yes,
love
it's
it.
so good. Like unlike a certain other game.
Come on, Valorant, take notes, please.
Yes, please,
I
God.
want to play your game.
But yes, Loba's trailer is really nice. I really love like, God, I'm the sucker for like really well edited trailers. Like her her animated shot with her going to like the vault of like Revenant's sort of like
Yes, that was.
his head
I
thingy.
remember that. It was
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah, and like when the song kicked in, I was like, oh man, that's so fucking sick. That's so good.
Yeah, I love it. That was just top tier stuff. They really do a good job for like their shorts. Just even the story for like just random characters that most people won't really care about. They'll just be like, oh, it's a battle royale game, very fun. Most people
Yeah.
won't really care that much about the characters, but like for the people that do, it's actually really solid. They do a good job of keeping you invested. All right, so now for the guns, which is pretty decent chunk of the game considering you shoot people all day in this game.
No, I
Um,
don't know what you're talking about. I make friends. I hug them and shake their hands.
oh yeah, this is a pacifist game. Yes, the new weapon is the 3030 repeater, which is a really I really like this gun because I got a really cool kill with it a few days ago. But no, I really like this gun in general because like it fills a niche that I never knew that I needed. It's a sort of like just like a fast firing auto semi-automatic rifle. Yeah.
Right. Hmm. I thought I would love it more because I sort of have this thing where like after playing a lot of automatic weapons I kind of like having these kinds of like semi-auto long-range weapons, but
Mhm.
the problem is that I just suck so bad at it, like I can't aim it for shit and I don't know why. I think
Oh yeah,
it's just my
I got to
sense.
warm up with this one to actually be good at it. So
But yeah, I remember you clutch a 1v3 and I was spectating you and like that
oh
was
yeah, that
sick.
was so good. It's so fun to use. I think they did a fantastic job with this one. It's like it's not that hard to use because like it's not like a sniper where you're like really punished very badly for missing a shot, but
Right.
it's also not as easy as like an automatic rifle because like you miss a shot, it's semi-auto. You gotta keep.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's really nice. And as far as like updates go,
This
there was like quite a few, but they're all like quite minor hitbox adjustments, and then Rampart had her had her Sheila angle increased.
Yeah, and her shield actually
Finally,
got improved, like
oh yeah, yeah,
especially when
right.
building. Like that's I'd say a pretty significant improvement because previously whenever people just like tapped your shield while it was building, it's just gone.
That's true. Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, Octane jump pad changes are also quite interesting. You know, when you slide, you go further, but you know, shorter height, and then when you run on it, normally you get more height, but you know, shorter distance.
Yep, yep, that's good. And Horizon's gravity lift got a slight nerf from 21 seconds to 25 seconds, and
Yeah,
the 15-second cooldown timer only starts when the gravity lift disappears. So that's cool.
yeah.
Crypto is a funny one. Removed the ability to stick arc stars to his friendly drones. So I cannot believe this was a thing. What the hell?
That's so smart though. That's literally just like a freaking arc bomb that you just like fly to the
Yeah,
enemy.
it's amazing. Like whoever thought of it, like damn, you did good.
Yeah, and
And
now there's just Loba can now loot through unopened care package. Fucking hell.
packages.
Right, so Loba can now loot through unopened care packages, and Mirage decoys now have footsteps, which is pretty significant, I think. Especially as a person, like, you know, I play a lot of comp and I need to hear footsteps. Sometimes it's fooled me this season.
It'll screw with you. Like that's pretty significant.
Right, and
And
one.
caustic all gas now dissipates as soon as caustic's team is eliminated, so you don't have to deal with his annoying gas once you kill all his teammates, I guess.
Right, but you're forgetting one big thing actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's now the introduction of legendary magazines.
Ah, yes, yes, right.
Yeah. So they removed Golden Barrel Stabilizers, but they reintroduced, well, not reintroduced, it's actually pretty new, legendary
Mm.
magazines. What do you think of that?
Maybe you should introduce it.
Okay, sure. So legendary mags now, they basically have the same capacity as purple magazines, but whenever it's hosted, after roughly 5 seconds, I believe, they automatically reload the hosted weapon, which is, I think, crazy good. Like, it's so good. I love it.
That's wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. Okay.
Sometimes I just have like something like a devotion and a spitfire, and like, you know, on the rare occasion I get like two, you know, two golden mags. Like, it's just spraying one after the other while the other
Hotspot.
is hosted.
Some auto loading holster shit.
I am a walking machine gun.
That sounds so fun, actually. Oh my god. I've never seen. I feel like I've never seen this in
Wait, you
game. Is it
haven't?
like really rare or?
No, it's not that rare. It's like you can find it in the explosive holds and like, well, I guess now ranked this on Olympus, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that uncommon actually. Sometimes I find it in like random like crates and stuff.
Strange how I've never seen it.
No wonder you didn't really know about it.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of what it was, but yeah, I guess because I never saw it.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, oh my god, like especially for weapons with long load times like the R99 or the Spitfire, like you just have like a secondary that can like blast through enemies for a short bit, and then you just change back to that weapon and you go brrr.
Nice. That does sound really good. I will keep an eye out. Though I've never seen it. Like I mean, I would have. I love gold, so I would just have run for it if I saw it. Like, but never saw it. So
Yeah,
I'll keep an eye out. Keep an eye
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Okay, so
You definitely love it.
I will. I'm sure I will. Okay, so now cosmetics. I think Apex does cosmetics really well. Like they are like legendary skins are superb. Like the skins they have in
Yes.
the battle pass and like even the ones like available just in the shop are really good. They have some really good skins.
Right. I'm sort of conflicted on their skins. Like, for example, the purple skins feel like they're just almost like copies of one another with different
Recolored.
colors.
They're
Yeah.
literally just recolors.
Yeah, so that makes me really mad. Like, especially when I open Apex packs and, you know, oh, hey, a purple, but, you know, it's like, you know, I know it's going to be one of those, like, colorful thingies with, like, a little bit of, like, moving design, and that's it. You know,
Quite
that's it.
bad. Only the legendary skins are really, really
Yeah.
nice.
And, you know, they can design really good weapons. Like, I've got, like, during one of their events, I think Fight Night recently, I bought a G7 Scout skin with like crafting materials. It's called Attrition. It looks so good. It's like this metallic yet like sort of like polygonal design. It's
Damn,
so
that
good.
sounds
I
nice.
love it.
Oh,
And
I
the thing
think I've
is,
seen it. You gave one scout to me and it had
yes,
that skin. I really liked it.
yeah, it's so good. Even though I don't use the G7 at all, I just bought it because it looked nice. Yeah, so it's like they
Yeah.
clearly have the ability to make good skins, but you know sometimes their skins sort of like really just don't hit, like it just doesn't hit, and
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
their skins are a bit too expensive on the Apex store. Like sometimes you get charms for like 500 Apex coins. That's like $8 Singapore. That's like €5. Like what the hell? No, I'm not buying a fucking charm for
That
like
is
five
rough.
bucks.
Yeah, like what the heck? A charm? It's just like a little thing that hangs off your gun for like $8 Singapore. No thanks.
Yeah, no, thank
I
you.
could buy a McSpicy meal with that. Like what the heck?
Yeah, upsize. Actually, it might not be upsized, but it's still a
Still
decent
a good deal.
McDonald's meal. Yeah, so I feel like their pricing, especially for like their event stuff, like the ones where you have to collect all 24 things to get the heirlooms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
That
so expensive
wow.
and it's all RNG.
Yep. So that's really bad. I think
Mm.
that's the anti-consumer part. There always is one little smidge of anti-consumerism in every game. So
I'm crying.
same.
But,
Uh,
I will give them credit for their battle pass and events. The events usually give about one to two legendary skins, which are some of which are really
oh,
well designed.
that's
And
really
the
good. Yep,
battle pass in general is just really good value, especially if you play it up to like level 100 or 110.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
you
is.
get so many legendary skins on like both characters and guns, and
You
you
get
get
like
back
the
your
quick stuff.
yeah, you get back your Apex coins too, which is I
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
that's a really good thing. You can just buy it again, which is really nice.
Yeah, and the value is so much better than something like Valorant. It makes me so pissed when I see something like Valorant's Battle Pass compared to
Yeah,
this.
it's so much worse. Like value wise, the value proposition of Valorant's Battle Pass is way off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I wish it was better, but
Hmm.
oh well. This
Yeah.
Battle Pass is pretty good. I think it's one of the best as far as multiplayer game goes.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. I agree. I thought you meant this season.
Oh no, I just meant like their battle passes in general. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I definitely agree. I think Fortnite is up there with them.
Oh, definitely Fortnite. The inventor of the battle pass. They do the best job still.
Actually, surprisingly, Dota 2 is I believe the first to have a battle pass.
Oh, Dota 2 wasn't Fortnite. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. I played it back in 2015, 2016. They had like a battle pass. It was like their first or second year doing that.
Ooh, I
That's
see.
wild,
I
by the way.
see.
Like Dota 2.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I guess Fortnite just popularized it. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
then.
definitely. But
Right.
it's still good. It's still good.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm. Right.
Okay, so the ranking system. I mean, there's not really much to say about the ranking system. It's like sort of typical. There's like your bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond, master, and apex predator, which is like their top 500,
Top
right?
750.
Top 750.
Hmm.
Um,
Haha, I'm diamond. You guys remember I'm diamond, okay?
wow. Okay, carry me.
I am. I will.
Good, good. Okay, but yeah, the rank system is quite typical of
Hmm.
most multiplayer games.
Eh,
They all of them have a all
hmm.
multiplayer games in general have a ranking system like
Hmm.
this. So
Actually, I think it's quite
yeah.
interesting. Like the whole wagering the battle points, the
Oh,
rank
that
points.
system, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I guess that system is interesting because, like, I mean, multiplayer games usually it's just like you queue and then you will lose and then lose rank points and you win or you win rank points, right? So this one is more like you have a wager and you put
Hmm.
your 24 points on the line and then you go in and then it feels like you are earning
Hmm.
like your points and then the harder you win, the more points you get. It's an interesting system.
I think it's one of the most fair ones, just because even though you don't get placements, like if you get a bunch of kills, you still get a bunch of points.
Yeah, and that's a really good way to go about it, I think.
Hmm. And actually, I want to point out because they had basically like you can only get up to 6 kills or assists or mixture of both before like any further like any more kills or assists, it doesn't count for extra battle like sorry rank points.
Ah, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yep.
And the value of each kill also goes up the higher the placement you go. So I think
Yes, I
it's a
really like that.
yeah, I think it's a great incentive, right, for most players, so that people can just go in and like go like ape out with like shotguns or something and like kill
And then
everyone and die.
yeah, and then they just die, and then it's cool.
Yeah, this
They still get a
one
bunch of points, but like yeah,
it incentivizes you to stay to the end and like sort of like play a bit more strategically. So I think it's pretty
yeah,
smart. I
it's
like the
really
system a
nice.
lot.
Yeah, their ranking system I think is
Hmm.
one of the more perfected ones. I feel like I
Hmm.
think they did a really good job with the ranking system. The whole wagering
Hmm.
thing, the increasing the value of
Hmm.
your kills and assists the further you go.
Right.
I think it's a really good system.
So on to our final topic. Do you have any fond memories of the game back then and compared to now? Because there's a lot of changes since season 1 to 8. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Like, honestly, for like season one, two, three, like on King's Canyon, I remember it's just more like I feel like back then it was more of like a discovery process. I was like, because I was new to battle royales at the time too.
Yeah.
Because I hated PUBG. I tried it. I hated it. I didn't like Fortnite. This was my first time actually liking a battle royale game. So it was more of a discovery thing. So I have fond memories of like, ooh, what does this gun do? How does this gun fire? And getting killed many times. But all fond memories. I think it's really cool. Whereas now, it's more of just I know which weapons I like. I know which are the like good spots to go to. I know how to like move around in the fastest way possible, that kind of thing. So it's more of like I have a more focused view of the game now versus like the whole discovery aspect of the game, like that I had before.
Strangely enough, my experience has been the opposite. Like my discovery seasons, I would say the most I improved was between season 7 and this current season, so season 8. Season 7 was when I learned to really use snipers like Sentinel, which I previously couldn't even use, and like
Right. Yeah.
I did pretty decent in season 7, I'd say, and in this season, I've really improved a lot. I've learned how to use stuff like the charge rifle. My main weapons
Hmm.
have changed from stuff like the R99 or RE45 to the R201. Sorry, R301, say in Titanfall.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm just learning how to use more guns and experimenting more in general. And I've also changed my strategy. Like that's how I got to diamond.
Hmm.
I'm really
Right.
proud
Right.
of like the way I improved. Like I hope that doesn't sound conceited, but
No, it's just
yeah.
being proud of yourself isn't conceited. So
But yeah, man, I remember back when you could still hold like, 2 grenades, back when the golden backpack
right,
like allowed you to heal 50% faster, and
that was
combined with
great.
lifelines like passive, you could heal up so fucking quickly. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Oh, oh,
Yeah. And now, Lifeline's
good.
ability has completely, the passive has changed. Even Mirage back then sucked so bad, but now he's in a very good spot. He's been buffed to the point where I'd say he's, you know, he is what his character was meant to be.
Yeah, definitely. Now he's actually a solid pick, and they
Yeah.
just buffed him anyway in this season. Like they make his decoys and footsteps now to confuse you even more.
Yeah,
Like
it's great.
great.
It's so cool. Right.
All right, so we've come to the end of this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. This episode will be released a little bit earlier because we are like sort of speeding up the schedule for a little bit because we
Yeah.
have more time now. But you can expect the next episode soon. So we'll see you then.
Yeah.
I've been Farhan, she's been M, and join us next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.